Hey you girls, welcome back to my channel. So as a 35 years old living in Germany, these are the things that I feel I wasted my 20s doing. The first one being I wasted my 20s by not being very confident. Now I do not think that it is unusual for people in their early 20s not to feel very confident, but in my case I feel like that was a waste because that stopped me for going for my dreams. Let's take this YouTube channel for example. The first time that I thought about starting this channel, it was probably end of 2015, beginning of 2016, and I didn't start it until 2022, you guys. And sometimes, you know, not a lot of time, but sometimes I do think, what if I actually picked up a camera or probably my phone back then and just started talking to it, okay? Because I'm not saying that I would have had hundreds of thousands, millions of subscribers by now. You know, there are people who started YouTube in 2009 and they still don't have those numbers. I know that, you know, it is normal for people to say, oh, I wish I started social media back then, but not everybody who started social media back then actually made it big. But I think it is safe to say that if I started social media back then, I would have a lot more subscribers than I do now, okay? I would have at least, okay, at the very least, maybe 3,000 subscribers, but I didn't. So this is your sign, it's your encouragement to go for it. Not only social media, maybe it's acting, maybe it's singing. It doesn't even have to be something creative, okay? It could be going back to school. Maybe you want to travel more. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is, start today, okay? Starting now. Actually, one of my favorite books is The 5 Regrets of the Dying, and in that book the author states that the thing that people regret the most is not being their authentic self, not doing what they want when they want it, caring too much what other people think about them. And I can guarantee you that having a regret like that when you are on your deathbed, like 80, that is really going to eat you like from the inside out, okay? That is a big regret to have, okay? I'm team remorse, no regret, okay? I rather actually do something and then realize, maybe I shouldn't have done that, maybe that didn't work out in my favor, but I rather have that than, you know, having to ask myself all the time, what if, what if, what if, what if, you know, what if I actually have had the courage to do it. Now of course that's not going to be the case with this YouTube channel, since I did end up starting it. And you know what, 2 years from now, if it still is nothing, then I'm gonna be like, okay, I tried it for a couple of years, it didn't work out, but I'm never going to be 80 something in my deathbed having to ask myself, what if I've actually had the courage to pick up the camera and just start yapping, okay? Now this is the biggest thing I wasted my 20s doing, and it is people pleasing. You guys, when I tell you that I used to be a people pleaser of the worst kind, I don't think you people even understand, okay? Thinking back at it, it's very embarrassing, okay? It was really actually mad, thinking back at some of the things that I did to please people back then. Baby, I have secondhand embarrassment for my younger self, and I can tell you for a fact, if there is nothing else that you get from this video, remember this, is that you cannot change people, okay? Like most people can even barely change themselves, so talk less of changing another grown-ass adult, another human being. That's impossible more time than not. Do not date for potential. Now I didn't do this, but I see a lot of young women make this mistake. Baby, the potential you see in him, he doesn't even see him himself, okay? So let him where you found him, okay? And this is true for friends as well, you guys. If you have a friend who is a certain way that you don't like, or does something that bothers you, and let's say you talked about it with them like 1 or 2 times and they're not changing anything, you're better off leaving this person where you found them, because nothing good is going to come from it. Like they're not going to change, they're not going to do it for you. Like people don't change unless they themselves want to. When I was in my early 20s, for example, I had this tendency to want people to like me, or like me more, okay? So when people were frontal about the fact that they don't like me at all, I would leave them alone, okay? But when I had a friend who I considered a friend, and they, looking back, considered me more as an acquaintance, I would want to be their friend, okay? So I was this person that they would call maybe to just grab coffee, but when something was really, really nice, like something going on where, I don't know, like a birthday or something, I wouldn't be included, I wouldn't be invited, and then I would just see the pictures on Facebook. Yes, you guys, I'm that old. From the time when something significant happened, people shared on Facebook, and I would want to be invited to the next birthday. So I would start getting them like little gifts, nothing, you know, crazy, but perfumes and stuff like that, in the hope that they would like me more, and I can tell you it doesn't work. Okay, generally more time than not. Now there are always going to be exceptions, but how people feel about you in the beginning when you just met them, usually it's final. It's final. Okay, like most people are not going to change how they feel about you when they just met you. So do not waste your time trying to people please your way into people's heart. More time than not, it doesn't work. Okay, also be kind, don't be nice. Okay, nice is a synonym for agreeable, and I have only one question for you. Agreeable for what? Do not be agreeable. Be kind, genuinely kind. If you feel like doing something because you're led by God to do it, or you can find it in your heart to do it and you're expecting nothing in return, then do that. But don't go along to get along. Okay, that's another thing that I did in my early 20s with friends. Sometimes I would disagree with them, and I would just go along to get along because, you know, I didn't want the argument. And looking back, I regret it, because why? Like, here is a caveat though. I'm gonna say I still do this to this day sometimes, because before arguing with somebody or going back and forth with somebody, you need to ask yourself, does this person even have like the capacity intellectually, emotionally to understand where you're coming from and what you're talking about? Okay, if they don't, then obviously don't waste your time with them, right? But if you are talking to somebody who can actually understand your point of view, I say don't go along to get along. Like, stand on business. If you disagree, say, girl, you know, I don't want to go there, I don't want to do that. Like, stand on business. Why shouldn't you? At the end of the day, what you want also matters. You don't have to always go along to get along. What you think matters. Like, you're important too. Okay, you matter, you're worthy. That's not necessarily something that I was convinced of when I was in my early 20s, but I can tell you this today. I hope that, you know, those of you who are a little younger watching this video can get that and understand it. What you want matters, what you need matter, your voice matters, and that's on Mary and the Lamb. Okay, the third thing that I wasted my 20s doing, I wasted my 20s not taking very good care of myself. Okay, I wasted my 20s not taking very good care of my physical self. I wasted my 20s not taking very good care of my mental health. Okay, again, this has been a very, very big waste of years, waste of wisdom, waste of mental health, waste of depression, waste of anxiety, waste of whatever, you name it, I had it. Okay, I wish that I tend to my childhood trauma a lot earlier in life than I did. I wish I started therapy a lot earlier than I did, because baby, I spent my early 20s being a mess. Okay, I'm not even going to sit here and front. I wasted my early 20s being very, very unstable mentally. Okay, walking around looking a mess as well, right? Because when you feel a mess, you look a mess, right? So I didn't take very good care of myself at all back then. I would walk around looking literally homeless. Like, some days, I recall days where I'm sure that, you know, if people who cared about me saw me, they'd be like, ring the alarm, girl. Ring the alarm, because you is looking absolutely cray-cray. You're looking mad. Like, it would just be to go to the post office or whatever. But baby, I was on the fence a lot of the days. Okay, it wasn't good. It wasn't giving I love myself. It wasn't giving I care about myself. It wasn't giving any of that, because probably, you know, none of that was true at the time. I'm not even going to sit here and front. But yeah, do not do this. If you're a younger woman watching this video and you feel like something is off, then probably something is off, right? If you feel down a lot of the days, if you feel you don't have energy a lot of the days, if you don't want to do anything, if you stay in the apartment in the dark without opening the windows, if you can stay like 2 days without taking a shower, there is something internally that is off, and you should tend to that. You should try to talk to a mental health professional if you can. If you can't, try watching like YouTube videos or TikTok videos. Some of them are even made by professional, you know, mental health professional, not just people like me who are talking off of their own personal experience. Like, do something, anything. Do not waste 6-7 years of your life like I did. Okay, and once you do that, you're gonna see it's gonna be a lot easier to take care of your physical self as well. You're gonna take a lot of joy, or derive a lot of joy, from doing your hair, doing your makeup, wearing nice outfits. You know, you're going to be able to be a lot more social. Even if you're an introvert, you're going to see how interactions with other people are not going to be as draining as they used to be. It's just going to be a lot easier. Like, a lot of people, a lot more people are going to be to want to be around you, because, you know, you're not going to be like as negative as you used to be. Your life is going to improve. tremendously, ginormously, I promise. So do not waste your early 20s like I did by not tending to your mental health, to your physical health. You're going to be a lot more confident, which again would embolden you, like we talked about in the beginning of this video, to go for your goals, your dreams, your aspirations. So do not waste your 20s by not taking impeccable care of yourself, because you deserve it. Okay, you are an unrepeatable miracle, so you're actually worthy of the best care in the world, even if you have to give it to yourself. Okay, now another thing that I wasted my 20s doing, I wasted my 20s not prioritizing my physical health. Okay, when I tell you girls that I never worked out up to when I was like 26, 27, I'm not even making it up. I mean, never. Okay, it reached a point where I actually doubt my ability to physically exercise. I swear, you guys, I know this sounds crazy, but I'm not even making it up. Like, I would watch videos of girls working out on Instagram and I would be like, yeah, I cannot physically do this, which is crazy because I've been consistently working out for like 9 years now, but it never used to be my thing. Like, even when I was a child and I was in school, we had mandatory PE, and back then as 8 years old I knew how to forge my mom's signature. I know how to do it after this day. Okay, and I would write my own sick notes, you guys, and I would sign them not to participate in PE. Okay, so I never actually exercised until I was 26 and I did this YouTube workout, and again I never stopped ever since. With my best friend we started that journey together, and until this day I do work out regularly. But sometimes I ask myself, you know, and I am happy with, you know, the way I look or how fit I am, but I would be a lot fitter if I started, you know, when I was younger. I would be in an even better shape now. I mean, I could work on, you know, having a little bit more definition on my arms, but the reason why I don't do that is because I have very thin arms to begin with. You know, the camera adds 10 pounds, so they're even thinner than they look now, and I wonder sometimes if I exercise like my arms a lot or my upper body a lot, like maybe I'm gonna have a lot of definition, which is not a look that I personally like. That is the reason why I actually didn't get into athleticism when I was in school, because, you know, I'm very tall, I'm 5'11", so I have these long legs, and, you know, the coach was always trying to force me, or I guess convince me, to get into athleticism, which is crazy for the girl who never even like did the regular PE. You think I'll get into that? I did end up running once or twice, but yeah, I actually don't want my physique to look like that, so I don't exercise my upper body regularly. But I do have very strong legs, and again, I'm happy with the way I look. But sometimes I ask myself, if I invested in my physical health when I was a lot younger, like 19 or whatever, I'd probably, you know, have a lot more muscle mass today and be a lot fitter. So invest in your health today, okay? I also wasted my early 20s caring way too much what other people think. Now, I know that this was the topic of the last video, but honestly, I watched it and I did a poor job at explaining what I meant. So I'm gonna give it another try. As human beings, we are social animals, okay? Like, we have actually never been as lonely as we are today, as in we have never been as individualistic as a society as we are today, okay? We used to live in a community, and back in the days, our survival, like our literal survival, depended on the community, okay? And I believe that it is because of that when we are doing something that is going against the grain, or we believe what we are about to do or say is going against the grain, we get a little bit of this anxiety, right? Because our body have not adapted to the fact that we live in an individual society now, that we no longer depend, you know, to the extent that we used to, at least, on the group in order to survive. And this is why sometimes when you wear an outfit that is a little bit, you know, skimpy, and you're about to go out, you get this anxiety that tells you, what are other people gonna think, right? So what I was trying to say in the other video is that instead of just listening to that feeling and immediately undressing and wearing something else, you need to ask yourself, what are the real ramifications of this, or what could be the real ramification of this? Do not just go off of the feeling, right? If you're wearing a skimpy outfit to work, the answer would be you could actually lose your job, right? So there could be real consequences tied with wearing this outfit that is not, you know, appropriate, I guess, to corporate world. But if you're just going to go out and grab a coffee or whatever, then who cares, right? Who cares? The worst thing that can happen is that people are going to judge you, or let's say somebody really silly is going to come to you and say, I don't like the color of this lipstick. So what? You don't like it, other people like it. You don't like it, you don't have to wear it. I like it, I'm the one wearing it. Bye, okay? And this is what I've been trying to explain in the other video, and did a poor job at it, because, you know, some days we can, some days we can't. But I'm trying to say is that as human beings, we all have these feelings of anxiety when we are doing something or about to say something that goes a little bit against the grain. Don't just blindly follow that feeling, okay? Always question yourself, like, what are the real ramifications or could be the potential real ramification of this? And then depending on the answer, go for, you know, what makes most sense. I hope that I did a better job at explaining it this time around. I'll see when I watch back this footage, you guys, but either way I will upload it because, you know, I am trying to be a lot more consistent this year, so it's gonna come up. So let me know in the comment section down below if you understood what I meant and if I did a good job at explaining it, right? Because a lot of the time we have this anxiety, and then when we really think about it, we realize, yeah, nothing is gonna happen, you know, like not even $5 is gonna miss from my bank account. So yeah, let's go for it. Last but not least, I know that this video is about, you know, things I wasted my 20s doing, but I do want to leave you with this reminder, and it is that remember to trust the timing of your life, okay? I'm a big believer in destiny, and I actually think that we have a timing on our lives. Remember how the KFC guy didn't start KFC until he was 65 or 60 something. Think of how Tina Turner's music career took a totally different turn for the positive when she was over 50. There are actresses out there and actors who've been going on, you know, auditions ever since they were 20s, and they only made it or first got their first big role when they were like 40. So if you didn't make it in your 20s, whatever it is, it doesn't mean that it's never going to happen. Trust that, you know, everything that happened for a reason, or even if you can't see the reason, there's actually something that you can learn from it. I personally actually didn't have a driving license until I was 22, so I've only had one for 3 years, but that was the timing of my life, whereas my sister had a driving license when she was 19, okay? Because that is her story, that is her life, and then there is my story, and there is my life, and then there is your story, and there is your life, okay? So whatever it is that you feel you wasted your 20s doing, just know that there are lessons that you can learn from it, and whatever it is that you've hoped to achieve when you were in your early 20s and haven't yet, it's not because it didn't happen then that it's never going to happen for you. And that is the message of hope, I guess, that I wanted to leave you with. If you like this video, do not forget to give it a thumbs up. In the comment section down below, let me know, you know, what are the things that you feel you wasted, quote unquote wasted your early 20s doing. Do not forget to subscribe to my channel as well, and I will talk to you guys on Tuesdays, 7 p.m. I believe Eastern Standard Time. It could be 4 p.m. I don't know. I live in Germany. Thanks for watching, you guys. Bye. Mwah.